So we've started with a new chapter, that is CSS, in which we have studied what is CSS. Cascading style sheets. It is one way of styling your web pages and making your websites more attractive. HTML alone is not sufficient to make your websites more attractive. CSS is a way to do it. What is CSS? We write CSS code inside HTML only. There are three places we have studied that. Where are the different places where we write CSS? We write it inline within the tags, or we write it at the document level called as embedded, or we can write it even in external files and save it with extension.css, that is called as external style sheets. So we have studied that, how to write it in three different places. Then we studied what are the different types of properties, which are the different types of values, how to assign values to properties, all that. Then we studied what is the meaning of selector. There are 6 different types of selectors. Okay, element selector. Uh, we know that there is element selector, then there is class selector, then after that we have ID selector, then we have attribute selector, okay, and after that we have pseudo element or pseudo class selectors, and finally we have contextual selectors. Okay, so these are the different types of selectors which we have already seen it in the last class. Selectors are a way how the browser decides on which particular elements the style has to be applied. So we can specify these selectors in 6 different ways, starting from the simplest, that is the element selector, class, ID, contextual, pseudo, attribute. So these are the different types of selectors that we have. Let us go further and try to understand what is the meaning of inheritance and specificity. For example, let us say you have a web page in which uh, to a same tag, 2 selectors are applied. Sorry, 2 styles are applied. For example, you define a style at the document level and you say that the text in the paragraph should be green in color, and you define a style in the p tag itself and say that the color should be red. Let us say you have defined 2 styles. One style you have defined in the tag only, saying that the color should be red, and another style you have defined at the document level and said that in the paragraph, if there is any paragraph tag, the color should be green, like that. Now the browser will get confused as to which style to apply. So that's why, there is something called as precedence. There is something called as precedence, which particular style has got highest precedence. And remember, as long as the location is concerned, there are three different locations where styles can be defined: inline, at the document level, and external. Always remember, inline styles has got highest precedence. For example, I'm talking about this example here. Let us say I have, okay, an HTML file like this. Then I have a head section. Then I have style. I'm defining my style here. Let us say I say P I say color is equals to green. I say color is equals to green, like this. Okay, which means that the text color should be green. I'm saying that wherever there is P tag, the text should be P tag, the text should be green. And then I close the head tag. Okay, and then I start the body tag. In the body tag, let us say I have a p tag here. I say hello world. Okay, simple example. Okay, so let us say I have a simple example like this. You saw that what is this type of style called as? This is called as embedded style because it is defined at the document level in the head section. You also know that I can define my style here. I can write style is equals to, in double quotes, I can write color colon red. So now you can see there is a clash here. In this example, there is a clash. I'm saying at the document level that in the p tag, there is a p tag. Please have the font size as green. But in the tag itself, again, I'm defining a style here saying that color is equals to red. Okay. So when I do something like this, there is a clash, and which one, in which particular color the text will be displayed, whether it will be displayed in red color or whether it will be displayed in green color. Remember that when it comes to location, the inline style has got highest precedence. So whatever style you define in the tag will be applied on this content, not the one which is deployed at the document level. If there is another style defined for P in an external file, if it is defined in an external file saying that P color should be yellow, let us say P color should be yellow in an external file. So that external file will have the least precedence. In the sense, if let us say this is not there, if this is not there, of course, the color of the text will be green because you have defined a style for the P tag here. It will be green in color. Let us say in an external file, you define a style for P and say that the color should be yellow. So which one will be applied? The one which is defined in the external file or the one which is defined in the same file? Remember, this will have more precedence compared to the external. So the highest precedence is to the style that you define in the tag inline, okay, where you write like this, style style, which I like this. This will have the highest precedence. Then this will have the precedence, and after that, the external will have the precedence. I hope this is clear. Okay, so this is about the precedence. Remember that if there is a clash between the styles as to which style should be applied, if there are multiple styles defined for a particular tag, remember the one which is defined in line will be applied, not the one which is defined at the embedded level or the external level. So this I want you people to remember. Okay, now coming to the inheritance, or okay, the how the styles basically interact with each other. Okay, if we come to that, that's the reason, you know, the reason why this is called as cascading style sheets is because of that reason only. Okay, I told you that the style which is defined here in line, which is defined in line here, will be applied first. Next cascade is the one which is defined at the embedded level, and after that the next cascade is the one which is defined in the external file. So cascade basically means hierarchy. Cascade basically means hierarchy. The one at the element level has got highest precedence, then comes document level, then after that the external. Okay, so basically this is the idea. This is the idea of cascading. This is why it is called as a cascade. First, you see at the inline level. If it is not there, see at the document level. If it is not there, check at the external level. So this is called as the cascade. Okay. So I will come to this inheritance, and this I will come to this later on. First, I'll directly go to the box model. I'll go to the box model, which is very important from examinations point of view. Okay, I've seen many times this particular question being asked, what is the box model? From cascading style sheets perspective, from point of view of cascading style sheet, the box model plays a very, very important role. What is the meaning of a box model? Remember that every element of HTML, it exists within a box. Okay, just imagine it to be a box like this, a simple box. What are the different properties that a box can have? A box will have properties like the border of the box. It will have the margin of the box, the left margin, the right margin, the top margin, left. So like that, if you consider a box will have a lot of properties. It will have a lot of properties associated with it. It will have a lot of properties associated with it. Okay, so we can apply styles on these different properties of the box. But where is this box? In an HTML, I told you that all HTML, you can even read here in CSS, all HTML elements exist within an element box. The P tag, the H1 tag, the H2 tag, all these tags which are there, they appear in a box. They have their own box around it. They have their own box around it. Okay, and you can manipulate the properties of that box. You can manipulate the properties of the box. We will come to that. We will come to that step by step. You will understand. It is very easy. I will give you an example. You will immediately understand. Now let us look at the different properties of the box. If you consider this as the box, the thick black line, if you consider as the box will have margin. Okay, you have the top margin. You have the top margin from here to here. Then you have the left margin. Then you have the right margin. Then you have the bottom margin. Then inside the box, you have something called as padding. Padding is, let us say you start typing something in the box. You type hello world in the box. So how far that content, hello world text, should be from the border of the box. So the blue color that you see is called as the padding. It is called as the padding. You can also call it as the inner margin. It is also the inner margin. Padding is nothing but the inner margin. A margin which is inside the box. Which is outside the box is definitely called as the margin. Which is inside the box, it is called as the padding or the inner margin. So you have padding on the top, you have padding at the bottom, left and right. How far you want the content to be displayed after the border of the box. Then you have the width of the box, then you have the height of the box. So basically these are some of the elements, some simple examples, properties of box. Then again, in border, you have a lot of other things also, the thickness of the border, then you have the pattern of the border. You want this to be a thick line, or you want it to be a dotted line, or you want it to be a dashed line. All that comes. Okay, we will see one by one later on. But right now, just imagine and understand that every element in HTML is having its own box. Box has properties like margin, border, padding, width, and height. You will understand this when we take an example. Okay, let us go further. Let us say that we have the p tag. Let us say we take the p tag. We take the p tag. Consider the p to be an element and it has got a box around it. Every element has like this. Let us go ahead with the p tag. In the p tag, let us say I write this. Every CSS rule begins with a selector. The selector identifies all that. Let us say this is the content which is there in my p tag. Let us say this content is there in my p tag, and I want some box to come around my p tag. I want some box to come around the p tag. So when I do that, I can specify multiple properties to the box. I can specify it how far it should be from the previous content. This margin, top margin. How far it should be from the left hand side of the window, how far it should be from the bottom of the next element in the HTML. All that I can specify by using the margin property. Okay, so this is an example of a p tag which is inside a box. Okay, now the box has got different properties. I told you the box has got a property called as a background. Okay, the box has got a property called as background. I can have any background. I can have an image, I can have color, I can have anything in the background of the box. So background is the first property of the box. Okay, so we will see this example. Okay, we will see this example directly, but remember, these are the different properties that you can set. These are the different properties that you can set for the box. Background is the first and the most important. Basically, you want the background color of a particular element to be in different colors, or you want an image to be there, you can even specify that. Okay, so background is the first one. Then you have background color. This is the property that you use if you want to set some background color. This is the property that you use to set some image to the background. Okay, background position specifies on where the element in the background we should pause. Okay, some possible values are bottom, center, left, and right. You can also supply pixel or percentage numeric value. Okay, so background position is another attribute or another property that we can use. Then background repeat. Normally, background repeat is used for whenever you are setting an image for the background. So background repeat is another property that you can use for the box. Then background size is also there, how big you want the background to be. So basically, these are some of the properties available only for the background. Background attachment, background color. The one which is very commonly used is the background color, the background image, the background repeat. These are few of the most commonly used background properties with the box model. We will come to this. We will take examples and you will understand. Then a box will have borders. Remember, another very important property, box will have borders. Okay. So this is an example of the background. This is an example of the background. Uh, we will come to that. I said I will come to that later on. Then this is example of border. So these are the border properties. So you have a border property. Then in border you have border style. You have border width. You have border color. You have border radius. Border image. You want some images to be the border. You can specify that. So border is another property. So first we learned is background, and the second is border. In the background we have background color, background image, background repeat. So these are most commonly used properties of the background. Then we have the border, using which we can alter the border of the box. We can have border width, border style, border color, border radius, and so on. Okay, so we will take an example and we will understand this. So I'll go here, I'll define, I'll remove this. I don't want this right now. Okay, or maybe I'll keep that. I'll have a p tag. I'll remove this, and then I'll just I just want some content. So I will take this content and I paste it there like that. And I have to save it. So I'll go to the D drive, go to the web folder. Here I'll go to box example.html. Box example.html. I'm saving it in the web folder. Okay. Now let us see what will happen. So I saved it. I go to the folder. I go to D drive, work folder, then you have something called as box example. So when I double click on that, right now there is no style applied. You can see the color of the is green. You can see the color of that is green. I don't know whether you're able to see it, but the content of this content is entirely in green color. Why? Because you have defined it green there. If I change this green to maybe let us say red, I saved it. I came here, I refresh. Yeah, you can see that it has become red. Okay, so now I have applied only this style. Now I want to give a border. I want to create a box around the p tag. I want to create a box around the p tag. So how do I create a box around the p tag? I said that every element in HTML, whether it is a p tag, whether it is a h1 tag, h2 tag, I'll tell you, every element in HTML can be considered as a virtual box, and you can alter the properties of that box. You can give it margins, you can give it border, and so on. Okay. So now let us apply some styles. Let us apply some styles. Yeah, I have some examples here. They have applied for the body tag. I will do it for the p tag. Okay, I don't want that. Just take some examples. Background color is there. So I will just write here only in the p tag. Okay, so I can define my styles here, no problem. So BACKGROUND, background hyphen, is it hyphen? We have to write it correctly. If you don't write the spellings correctly, then it will not come. It has to be background color. I'll copy it directly from here and I'll paste it here. So I apply a style. I said background color, let it be equals to yellow, 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 and I put a semicolon. So I've defined only one style. For the p tag, okay, see, I'm defining a border. First of all, I'm saying that the p tag background color should be yellow in color. So file, save, I go here, I refresh this. So you can see that the background color of the paragraph becomes yellow in color. Okay, so I specified that. Now I want it to be in a box. I don't want the paragraph to be so big. I want to specify it what? I want to specify it a width and a height. I want to specify it a width and a height. So I go back here, background position, background image. Even if I want some image to be the background, I can even specify that by using this property here. Okay, but I want some color to be there. Okay, so if I want to give height to the box, then I think we will have to use the border width is there. Border width, I say one pixel. Let us see what happens if I put that. No, nothing happened. Border, there is something called as border color also. I have to specify that. If I don't specify this, then I will not be able to see the border color. I'm saying the border width should be that. Border color is, let us say, I say black, BLACK, black. Saved it. Nothing is there so far. Border top color, yeah, you can specify all that separately also if you want it to be. So here you can see this is one example that has displayed to you. It appears like this. It comes like a border like this. So I will specify background color. I have got already. Border color also, let it be. And then height, I'll specify some height, 100 pixels. Width, 100 pixels. I saved it. Okay, so what I've done here is I have specified a width of 100 pixels. I will make it 400 pixels. File, save. Yeah, what I've done is I have said that the width of the box should be 400 pixels. So my p tag, you can see that it has been in 400 pixels. So from here to here is 400 pixels. So it has fitted my p tag in the box like that. So you can see slowly I'm building my box around the p tag. First of all, I gave it a background color. Then I gave it width. Then I border width is one I will just remove this one and let us see what happens. In fact, the border should also appear, but it is not appear. Maybe I'm not writing the border width property properly. Border color is there. Yeah, or else I can specify, it should be in points, PT, 1 PT, it should be PT. Let us see if this is okay. Border color. Or else I can specify it like this using one border property only. Border color is red. The width of the border unit, but not percentage of right. What's the medium? Let us say. I'm not able to get that border. I'm not writing this properly, maybe. But I hope you understood that the P tag now appears like a box. You can see it appears like a box. I can set its background color. I can set its height. I can set its width. Border, I will not use this individually. I will remove this and I will use only the border property. Okay, there is something called as a border property, which I can use it directly like this. Yeah, you can see it here. I will use it directly like this. Okay, I think this is fine. Border, only border. Okay. First I said it should be solid. Then I said it should be 1 point, and then the color should be red. When I specify all this like this, I can assign it to the border property. First one that you supply is the style. Second one is the thickness, and third is the color of the border. Okay. Now I think it should come. So file, save. I go here. I refresh. Yeah. Now you can see that there is a border around the box. So I can specify it like this by using the border property. Border solid should be this. I think I was not specifying. Border style should be solid. Then should come the thickness of the border. Now it is 1. I will make it 5. I want it to be a little more thick. So file, save. I refresh. Then you can see that the border has become a little thick. It has become 5 points. You can specify all these 3 in one stretch by using the border property or border hyphen STYL style. STYL is border style should be solid. Okay, and border width 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 should be 5 points, and border color should be red. Let us see file, save. Yeah, this also you can specify. You can also specify this. I was not specifying this. That's why it was not coming. So if I remove that, if I save this, you can see that it will disappear. It will not be there. So that is important. I have to say first, the style should be solid. The width should be 5 points. The color should be red. If I remove this red color and if I specify that, I say it should be, let's say it should be black. File, save. You can see now it appears black. Okay, so I can actually specify for the P tag. Remember, I'm applying all these styles. I'm applying a border style to my P tag. So wherever this P tag is appearing, this style will apply. And what I am doing here is using these properties, the background color property, the height property, the width property, the border style, border width property. I am specifying the style for the box which is around the P tag. If you want the border style, this is solid. You can also write it dotted, DOTTED, dotted. Okay, now let us see what happens. Let's see if we come here and refresh. You can see that the style of the border is dotted now. You can also write it dashed, DASHED, dashed. Okay, file, save. You can see right now it is dotted. If I put dashed, you can see that it appears like dash. Solid actually is very commonly used. Solid is very commonly used. So file, save. If you refresh, so solid comes. And then I also said margin is 0 here. If I say margin is, let us say something like 100. If I say margin is 100, file, save. You can see that there is margin to the box from the top. From here it is 100 pixels, from here it is 100 pixels. The margin is something which is outside the box. I told you that already. So from the top margin is 100 pixels, left margin is 100 pixels. Okay, and let us see what is the meaning of padding. I said padding is equals to right now, see, for padding is equals to 0, the text of the box is starting just very immediately after the border. Okay, if I specify that it should be 10, I save it, file, save, I come here. Now this is with 0. Okay, I refresh this, you can see that from the top there is 10 pixels left, and from the left there is 10 pixels left. So that is padding. Padding is the inner margin from the box till the content. Content is this. Content is the content that we are writing in the p tag. So padding is the distance from the border of the box till the content. Okay. So I said it is 10. What if I write 100 here? The distance will increase. If I refresh, you can see this. This is now padding. From here to here is 100. From here to here is 100. Okay, I hope this is clear. And this is margin, this is margin. So using these properties, you can basically design a box around the content. This is the box model. So what, in the examination, they will ask you a question like this. They will ask you a question like, okay, they'll ask you a question like, explain the box model with the help of an example. Which are the different properties that help you to design a box around the HTML elements? So you have to write about the background, you have to write about the border and all that. And this border style, when I say border style will be solid. What if I say border? What if I say border top style? What if I say border top style is solid? Only the border top style will be solid, left, bottom, and right. I'm not defining. So you can also give different styles to different parts of the border. You have a top border, you have a bottom border, right border, and left border. So you can say border top style is solid, border left style is dotted, and border right style is dashed, and border bottom style it's also solid. Let us say it's also solid. So I save this file, save, I come here, refresh. Now you can see that left is dotted, right is dashed, bottom is also solid, and top is also solid. So individually the border can also be given different styles by using these properties. What is important here is that you have to remember these properties, very important. If you forget any of this, for example, let us say you do some mistake, border right style, I make a spelling mistake, RIGT, like that. If I write, you can see that intentionally I've made a mistake here. If I save this file, save, if I come here and refresh, this will not come, the right will not come, because I've not spelled it properly. So this is important. You have to name the properties properly, then assign it proper values. Not only this, you can also give different colors to different top border, all that you can give different colors. So you can specify it like this also. Border top colors, border top color. I want the top color to be red. Border top color, bottom color to be ORANGE, orange. Bottom color. Then we have left color to be, let us say, green and blue. Okay, is that clear? Top, bottom, left, and this should be right. RIGHT. Right should be blue in color. Let us see what happens. File, save. File, save. Nothing is happening. Border top color, border bottom color. Everything looks good to me, but it is still not coming. Let us give here. We have an example here where we have given. You can see that here, this border box here. On the left hand side, there is blue color. On the right hand side, there is green color. Then there is orange, and there is how it is given. It is given like this. Border color. Okay, border color is what we have to use. border color, top right, bottom left, top right, bottom left, border color red, border color, yeah, this should come actually, border bottom color should be orange. File, save. It's not coming, but it should actually come. Border, maybe there is something called as border color somewhere. That's why it is applying. Yeah, here you can see, no, I'm saying that border color should be black. I'm doing all this individually, but still I'm putting here color black, so it is coming. So I'll remove this. It is because of that it was coming. File, save. Hopefully this should come now. Yeah, now it appears. You can see that the left hand side border comes green, blue, red, and orange. What had happened was here, border color, I was making this green orange, and then below that there is one more style here. I'm saying that border color should be black. I'm overwriting the border color property, so I have to remove this. That's why it is coming as black. So file, save. I come here, I refresh this. You can see that it changes to that. So I hope this is clear to all of you. What we have studied today, very important, the box model, very important from examinations point of view. They will ask you this question in the examination. They will ask you explain the box model, explain the different properties available to design the box model. So you have to specify the background, you have to specify the height, width, border style, border color, and remember right, left, all that, will come individually. If you want to design it separately, you can have border bottom style, border top style, and so on, border bottom color, bottom top color, and so on. Individually also you can have. And then you have margin. What is margin? Margin is from the top of the element till, and from the left outside the box. And what is padding? Padding is inside. Okay, from the inside margin is called as padding. So these are the things that you have to remember for the box model. If you know this much, that is more than sufficient. Okay. So I hope this box model is clear with you. I think we are almost on the verge of completing this. We are on the verge of completing this particular module. Okay, I'll just see what is there. Yeah, this is the syllabus. We have studied all this, how styles interact, the box model. Okay, the box model we have studied today, and then CSS text styling. Okay, CSS text styling. This is the last part, very simple. Okay, there are some built-in styles that we have to apply on the text, that we will see it in the next class. It will not take much time, very simple. And then I will directly go to HTML tables, forms, and all that. So CSS, please remember, gets over here. This is the end of CSS. That's it. There is nothing more to CSS, only this much. Then I will start with how to place tables and forms inside HTML pages. Then how to style the tables. If I want to style the tables, give it some background color or something like that, how to do it. Then I have to start with what is forms, form control elements. Like if I want to place a text box or a radio button or a button, something like that, how to place that on a web page, that we have to see. Okay. And then after that, we have what is the meaning of micro formats. Then advanced CSS. Of course, there is something called as advanced CSS, where we play with flow control, where we play with floating elements, positioning elements, overlapping elements. All that we will be studying here in this module here. Okay, and then in the third module we have JavaScript. So what I will do here is I will not go further. I will not go to advanced CSS topics. I told you that I will not be doing this advanced CSS topics. I will do only till micro formats, and I will stop, and then I will start with module number 3. This advanced CSS, there is only 1 or 2 concepts which are very important, and every time they ask that only. Okay, so I will do only those 2, but later on, not now, because I have to still go to PHP and all that. That is more important than this. This will take more time. So I will start with the second module in the next class. I will finish this part, and then I will go to the second module. Tables, forms, I will do. Then how to apply styles to tables, we will see. Once it comes to advanced CSS, we will stop, and I will start with the third module. Okay, so before that, I will give you some assignment. I will give you some important questions from the first module and the second module also. Even if I've completed or not completed, I will give you some questions from the second module. And the same questions, that will appear in your internals also. I will give you a set of questions, question bank, and then from there, I will be asking you some questions. Okay, I will do that in the next class. I will give you some important questions. So we will stop here today.